My thanks to all the hurricane hunters. You know, earlier you used computer simulation to help you predict and analyze hurricane tracks. Now, how would you like to calculate where a hurricane will make landfall and then issue watches and warnings for people on the coast? NASA Connect traveled north to Boston, Massachusetts for today's classroom activity.
Hi, Vic from Imperfect Elementary School in Boston, Massachusetts.
NASA Connect asked us to show you the classroom activity for today's show. It's a game called
The Imperfect Storm.
Teachers, make sure you download the lesson guide for this activity from the NASA Connect website. In it, you'll find materials, directions, and student worksheets. To begin, your teacher will divide you into teams of meteorologists. It is your job to track the storm brewing off the coast of Africa, predict the probability of landfall, and issue hurricane watches and warnings. A hurricane watch means that hurricane conditions are possible within the next 36 hours. A hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are expected within the next 24 hours. The team with the most accurate predictions will be the winners of the game. First, construct your game board following the directions on your student direction sheet. The Saffir-Simpson scale tells you the classification of a storm by its wind speed. In this game, discs represent tropical storms and hurricanes, categories 1 through 5.
Right off the coast of Africa, there is a tropical wave that is forming a low-pressure system. Winds are 30 miles per hour. The coordinates are 16 degrees north and 35 degrees west as of 06 Zulu time.
Record this information on your data sheet and use a Saffir-Simpson scale to classify the storm. Plot the coordinate or position of the storm on your game board with the appropriate color from the key. Your teacher will give you the next 2 data points. As before, record, classify, and plot the storm's position.
Now, let's determine the speed the storm traveled.
If you know distance and time, you can calculate speed. Use a compass and the mileage scale on your game board to determine the distance the storm traveled. Then use Formula 1 to calculate the speed the storm traveled.
Before issuing watches and warnings, you must calculate the distance the storm will travel.
Use Formula 2 on your game board to calculate the distance the storm will travel in 36 hours. Then place the appropriate storm disk over the third point on your game board and secure it like this. Use a compass, your calculations, and the mileage scale to draw an arc from the outer edge of the disk. The area between the disk and the arc will receive tropical storm force winds in 36 hours. An atlas will help you identify land areas at risk. Record your estimated watch. Now use Formula 3 to calculate the distance in 24 hours and issue a warning.
Teams, we have a conflict. A cruise ship is steaming ahead at 15 miles per hour from the Bahamas towards Miami. It's your job as meteorologists to find the location of the ship, decide what action, if any, should be taken, and record your decision.
Your teacher will review your data sheet and award points for accurate calculations and predictions. The game continues as you receive more coordinates, weather data, and conflicts from your teacher. When the winds increase to hurricane force, you will need to use 2 discs instead of 1. This is because the tropical storm force winds extend farther out than the hurricane force winds. From this point on, you will only issue hurricane watches and warnings, so make sure you place your compass point on the outer edge of the hurricane disc, not the tropical storm disc. When the hurricane changes categories, you will need to change discs. As the hurricane approaches land, use your expertise to predict where it will make landfall. Points are awarded to the team with the most accurate predictions and solutions to the conflicts, so plot, measure, calculate, and use your atlas carefully. The team with the most points at the end wins the game.
Special thanks to AIAA chapter at Boston University for their help with this activity.